Now, I would hate you to measure the potential or the accomplishments of people on the amount of time I spend on their introduction. This next introduction will be short, but I want you to make the welcome the loudest and most welcoming of anybody that we've welcomed to the stage tonight. It's a great honour to welcome Siamak Loni. Now, Siamak, many of you will be aware, is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Melbourne Host Directorate. He also is a student at Monash University and Vice President of Monash International Affairs. He's worked tirelessly to bring this important event and, more importantly, all of you here to Melbourne, so please give him the welcome he deserves.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to begin my speech with a message from Dr. Nalin Hazer, the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and the Executive Secretary of the Economic Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. This World Model United Nations is occurring during a time of historic transition. We are faced by great global challenges, including persistent poverty, economic crises, climate change, and growing inequalities. This is also, however, a time of great opportunities, ranging from renewed commitment to more sustainable development made by world leaders at Rio 20 conference, to the critical discussions now shaping the global development agenda. The American diplomat and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Ralph Bunche, who was also involved in the drafting of the UN Charter, once wrote, "The United Nations exists not merely to preserve the peace, but also to make change, even radical change, possible without violent upheaval." The United Nations has no vested interest in the status quo. It seeks a more secure world, a better world, a world of progress for all peoples. In the dynamic world society, which is the objective of the United Nations, all peoples must have equality and equal rights. It is clear that the next big challenge for the United Nations, our member states, and the peoples of the world, especially our young people, is to ensure a future which is both inclusive and sustainable. Business as usual is no longer an option. As the largest of the 5 UN regional commissions and the regional arm of the United Nations, the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, is the most comprehensive and inclusive intergovernmental platform for Asia-Pacific, promoting regional cooperation, innovative solutions, and collective action to address the challenges and seize the opportunities before us. Growing together, we are building the future that we want, of shared prosperity, social equity, resilience, sustainability for all. Getting it right in the Asia-Pacific means getting it right for 2/3 of humanity. I'm therefore greatly pleased that ESCAP is a part of this key event, bringing together such a diverse and dynamic group of young leaders under this inspiring banner of reinventing your world. This conference will offer an unparalleled opportunity to share experiences and perspectives across nationalities and cultures, to learn about the values, role, and the processes of United Nations, and to produce recommendations of your own to address the most pressing global issues. As the UN intensifies its efforts in support of the big final push to 2015 on achieving the Millennium Development Goals, I commend the conference organizers for placing the MDGs at the heart of the conference program and for their vision in establishing the MDG committee. I look forward to the outcomes of your deliberations on ways in which progress towards the goals can be accelerated, as well as your fresh perspectives on the priorities which must shape the post-2015 agenda. Another significant change in global development landscape has been the emergence of new regionalism. As countries look towards deepening cooperation and integration with their neighbors, especially in the Global South, to address shared challenges and seek common solutions. The inclusion of an ESCAP simulation in ECOSOC committee of the conference provides a unique opportunity to highlight and explore the power of regional and inter-regional cooperation, especially South-to-South cooperation. Across the world, youth from all walks of life are leading movements and challenging the status quo. You're calling for political leadership that delivers greater accountability, opportunities, and social justice. Your generation is telling business and industry to promote more transparent, accountable, and just business practices. You're right to demand that your voices be heard and your role recognized, not only as tomorrow's future leaders, but also as well as today's partners. Your leadership, energies, and passion for a just, equitable, sustainable world are crucial to the future of the United Nations. Yours is the age of opportunity, and this conference is a chance to make a difference to the lives and prospects of people everywhere. I wish you every success in your deliberations. Dr. Nolene Hazer. So that was from Dr. Nolene Hazer, and now I will move on to my part. Do excuse me, everyone has to get to Global Village, but I understand. With the people of the United Nations determined to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. These words, taken from the preamble of the Charter of the United Nations, have never been more relevant. There is no doubt that in the 64 years since its formation, the United Nations has significantly contributed to the attainment of global peace, security, stability, equality, and development. However, the achievement of continued and dedicated commitment, and as we continue to grow as a society, the global community continues to be beset conflict, poverty, and inequality, the combination of which hinders true sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, honourable guests, on behalf of the Melbourne Host Directorate and World Model United Nations, Melbourne 2013, I would like you to welcome you to 22nd session of WorldMUN and to the city that I'm proud to call my home. I can stand before you today and waste your time by talking about the year that was, a demanding, albeit fulfilling, process defined by sleepless nights, new friendship, and unbearable stress. However, that is not important to us. To us, it's the during and after the conference that matters. It's the ability to empower youth to make an impact and inspire change, which is why you're all here. 2,000 of the world's brightest and most ambitious minds coming together for a common purpose, to solve some of the global community's most pressing problems. And it's not a common occurrence either. And to waste this opportunity is tantamount to intellectual treason. We are determined to ensure that your voices are heard by world leaders and to integrate your views into the decision-making process. We are destined to inherit this world, and it is essential that we be given the opportunity to shape its future. The Melbourne Host Directorate has established relationships with a number of entities whose vision closely aligns with ours, and is working hard to elevate the opinions of youth to the world stage. We all envision a world in which the void between the rich and the poor is bridged by commitment, by cooperation, and innovation. And it is our aim to make Melbourne 2013 a conference with a difference. As youth empowerment continues to rise on the United Nations agenda, we intend to capitalize on WorldMUN's truly global reach, as you can see in the room, by using it as a platform to address an issue of international importance, the Millennium Development Goals, and the possibilities of further development post-2015. The conference will be used as a vehicle to generate awareness about the MDGs and problems we face in attaining true and sustainable global development. Although we're slowly moving towards the realization of our goals, true global development requires dedicated and continued commitment. It is our purpose to ensure that the MDGs and the impetus for global development are not extinguished by their expiration in 2015, and we intend to power each and every one of you by doing so. To effect positive change, we must learn from our mistakes and those of our ancestors. To change the world, we must challenge ourselves, challenge our perceptions, and challenge each other, even as friends. To reinvent our world, we must experiment with change. We must dare to be wrong. Sir Ken Robinson once said, "If you're not prepared to be wrong, you will never come up with something original." I urge you to keep this at the forefront of your mind. Melbourne 2013 is a conference with a difference, and our resolutions have the capacity to make an impact. Our endorsement by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific is not only significant because WorldMUN 2013 is the first independent youth conference to be supported by the United Nations body, but also because the UN will be closely watching us as we embark on our week of debate by sending a senior official to observe all the proceedings. Of course, it goes without saying that I would not be here today if I did not have the support of the remaining members of the Melbourne Host Directorate, who have worked so hard to ensure the best delegate experience possible. I would like to extend my thank you to them by citing the words of our patron, the Honourable Gareth Evans, where he said to us in a letter, "I'm delighted to support WorldMUN as its patron, and I'm proud of the commitment of young Australians who are organising it. Their dedication is the finest tradition of Australia's central role in the foundation of the United Nations itself." Nothing could be further from the truth. On a different note, I would also like to take a moment to apologise to the Directorate as a whole and to thank each and every one of them, and one of you, for putting up with my banging on the tables, daily freakouts, and chronic lateness. Moreover, I thank AusAid for their dedication and commitment to our cause by supporting delegates from developing countries to attend the conference where it would have been otherwise impossible, and it allowing us to reach the furthest corners of the globe. Moreover, the State Government of Victoria, the City of Melbourne, Melbourne Convention Bureau, and of course the Melbourne Convention Centre for helping us facilitate such a conference in their state-of-the-art venue. Moreover, to UNESCAP and UNICEF for believing in our vision and helping us implement them. Lastly, a big thank you to our host universities, Monash and RMIT, for being with us in every step of the way and truly demonstrate commitment to greater education and excellence. I would like to also extend a special thank you to Professor Philip Batterham, our advisor, mentor, and friend. Phil, you saw potential where many didn't, and I cannot articulate how grateful we are for your support and guidance over the past 12 months. In the coming days, I hope we can read through the pages of history and renegotiate how the story of our world changes. I hope we reach out to the people we have never met before, who come from different towns, different villages, different universities, states, and countries. We are separated by borders, but we are connected through our humanity and passion for making the world a better place. I implore you, as the leaders of tomorrow, the architects of our future, to engage in this process, to stand up for what you believe in, and to work towards effecting positive, meaningful change in your community, city, region, and the world. My mentor and friend once told me that he disagrees with the phrase, "Young people are our future," because that implies that we are not part of the present. This week, we intend on changing that perception. Come join us and let's together reinvent our world. Thank you very much. And with that, I call Ms. Charlene Wong to the stage to declare this session open. Please welcome the Secretary General of WorldMUN. We declare the 22nd session of Harvard World Mother United Nations open.